Hello all. Welcome back to Rise and Inspire LA with your girl Naraya Ahava. I hope you all are doing fabulously today. And in today's video, we're going to tackle the topic of not seeking approval and validation from others, but instead giving that to yourself. You know, when we seek approval from other people or anything that's outside of ourselves, we almost can kind of hinder our self-esteem and our happiness because we're like, well, based on what this person thinks of me or what that person thinks of me, that's going to determine how I feel about myself. You know, and that can drive you bonkers, you know, and that's not the way to look at it. So I've come up with some things that I think can kind of help us all continue to try to focus on giving our self-validation and love and not feeling less than worthy based on the opinions of others. So tip number one would be to just recognize your self-worth. You know, understand that your value does not come from any type of external source. If you are a believer, understand that the Most High does not make any mistakes in the way that He made you and designed you. Yes, you have some flaws. Yes, we all have shortcomings, but no other person walking this earth can give you validation. You know, you can get your validation from yourself and from the Most High, and just understand that I'm worthy. I'm deserving. I can achieve the things that I want to achieve. I can reach the goals that I've set for myself, and just walk in that and embrace your uniqueness and celebrate your strengths, and also understand that, you know, we all can have opportunities for improvements, and just be conscious and aware of that. But don't feel like, okay, I'm feeling down on myself because this person feels this way about me. You know, don't have that type of approach, right? And tip number two, embrace your self-acceptance and let go of any frustration that you feel at not being perfect. Again, to piggyback off of point number one, we all have shortcomings. We all have our flaws, but those of us that are consciously making ourselves aware of our flaws and making ourselves aware of, okay, I got some room where I could improve in this area, or I could have handled that a little differently, or the next time this kind of situation happens, I'll do X, Y, and Z a little differently. Becoming aware of it is what's most important. Don't get bent out of shape that you made a mistake or you fell short, or in hindsight you're like, yeah, I could have did that a little differently. We've all had those types of moments. We've all had those type of thoughts. So don't beat yourself up about that, right? Embrace your uniqueness and celebrate your strengths. Understand that we are all human, and embrace your whole self. And that includes your vulnerabilities. That's what makes you beautiful. Like, don't walk around like you got it all together, because we don't. So accept and honor your vulnerabilities while still understanding that you are enough, but you also have room to grow and to improve and to evolve into your best self. And also, before we get into tip number three, if this type of content resonates with you, do me a favor and hit that like button and also the subscribe button so that you will never miss a video. Okay, on to the next tip. Setting healthy boundaries is crucial for breaking free from seeking validation. Learn to say no to things that just don't align with you, that just aren't on the same page, that don't, or that make you feel uncomfortable or icky or in any way. Because by doing so, you prioritize yourself and your own needs, and this protects your emotional well-being. A lot of times we just want to please others, people that we love, people that we care about, and we'll put them before our own needs, our own mental health, our own emotional health. And that's a big mistake, because those things over time can keep happening, and that can make you just feel not yourself and feel not so good, because you're like, this isn't really making me comfortable and I shouldn't do that. And, you know, if you continue in that type of pattern where you are allowing things and situations to overstep their boundaries, that can definitely be problematic. So own up and recognize what your boundaries are. I do have some videos on this channel about the importance of boundaries, if that will be helpful for you. But being aware of your boundaries is the first step, so that you can enforce them or recognize when you're like, okay, this is a boundary. This is making me feel kind of uncomfortable. I don't think that this is going to work for me. And this will help us all ethically in understanding that, okay, this is what works for me. This doesn't work for me. And I'm going to hold true to that to make sure that I'm okay at the end of the day, because we can't give to others if we're not giving to ourselves, because we cannot pour from an empty cup, right? After that, I would say practice self-validation and celebrate your achievements and your efforts. You know, acknowledge your progress and your growth. You know, progress is better than perfection in any aspect, whether that's working on your career or a business or, your own personal things, progress is better than perfection. Don't look at it like I have 20 things to do before I can get to the ultimate goal. It's like, okay, I took one step. I took 3 steps. I made a little bit of progress. So celebrate those small wins. Celebrate that you're on your way to where you want to be, whatever that goal is for you. Like, don't feel like, okay, I can only celebrate once I get to the end all be all. A lot of us kind of have I want it all and I want it right now. And sometimes we have to have some patience. And we also have to acknowledge I'm on my way. I'm making some steps. I'm making some progress. I'm not in the exact same spot that I was in 2 months ago or 6 months ago or a year ago. So things are moving along depending on what it is. So celebrate your small wins, celebrate your victories, big and small, and give yourself credit for the hard work that you're putting in whatever aspect that may be, but especially when it comes to your being, your mental health, your emotional health, and prioritize that and say, okay, this was a win. This was a small win. This was a big win, but this was a win and I'm proud of myself. Normalize being proud of yourself. You don't need to hear it from anyone else. It's nice. But, some things that you deal with or that you battle with or you struggle with, maybe you don't speak with other people about certain things, So when you recognize that, okay, this is a win for me. Like, this is some growth. I've grown in this area. I've shifted in this area. So make sure that you celebrate those things for yourself, right? And also, I would say engage in self-reflection and understand why maybe validation is so important to you. Explore any past experiences or insecurities that could be driving you to feel like I need someone else to say that I'm okay. I need someone else to say that I'm great. I need someone else to say that I'm pretty, or I need to hear it from someone else for me to feel it and believe it. Because a lot of times that stems from things that have happened to us in the past. A lot of times we can have traumas or things that happen to us, and if we don't work through it, if we don't deal with it, and we try to suppress it or ignore it or pretend that we're okay when we're not, that can come up in other ways. Such as, for example, it can lead, something that happened to you before could lead to you kind of operating where you need approval from others, when you really only need to give that to yourself. So just reflect and understand the root of what it is that's making you feel like, okay, I need help with this from this other person. I need this person to say that it's okay. And just kind of work through that so that you can release that, whatever hold that has on you, so that you can get to a point where your own validation is sufficient, right? And focus on pursuing your passions and your interests regardless of the opinions of others. There could be something that's on your spirit that says that you want to pursue a particular hobby, or you want to change career paths, or you want to go in this direction or that direction, and it really resonates with you. Other people won't get it. Sorry, had to adjust that. Other people may not always get what was placed in your heart and your mind or your spirit or whatever was put on you that you feel like this will help me lead a happier, more fulfilling life. It's not for other people to get. As long as you get it, that's the most important thing, so don't worry about societal norms or expectations when it comes to what's going to make you happy, what's going to make you feel fulfilled. Is it changing the job? Is it moving to a different career? Is it moving to another state? Be open to that and really walk yourself through that and say, okay, I'm not hurting anybody. I think this will be a good look for me. So just think it through and pray about it. And be willing to do what's best for you, regardless of if others are going to agree with it. So empowering yourself by recognizing that you hold the power to validate you. Trust your intuition. Listen to your inner voice. Pray about it. When you validate yourself, the opinions of others become less important. And when we free ourselves from seeking the validation from others, it can be so liberating and empowering. And by recognizing our self-worth, embracing our self-acceptance, and setting those healthy boundaries and engaging in self-reflection, we can live so authentically and so confidently and understand that I have to live with me for the rest of my life. So I want to make sure that I do what's best for me. And that's all of the validation that I need. So I want to thank you all for joining me on this video today. Do me a solid, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an upload. And if you have a friend or a family member that could really benefit from this type of message, feel free to share it as well. That definitely will help my channel out. But in the meantime, stay happy, stay healthy, stay self-validating, and I will talk to you soon.